Once Brahma cleared their doubts, they accepted and they went back to their planets. In the Prabhupada writes, the four principal activities of material existence are eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. The fear element exists also in the demigods. On every planet, even in the higher planetary systems, including the moon and the sun, as well as on this earth, the same principles of animal life exist. Otherwise, why are the demigods also afraid of darkness? The difference between the demigods and the ordinary human beings is that the demigods approach authority, whereas the inhabitants of this earth defy authority. So that's quite common. No? We don't like authority, so we tend to want to go against authority. The demigods understand their position in relation to the Supreme Lord, so they don't mind going to authorities. But every living entity within this material universe is fearful of death. So that fear is there, except one who's a pure devotee. Everyone is disturbed. So earlier on, Maitreya Rishi was talking about the fight between Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, but that he gave only briefly. Now he's going to go a little bit more detailed. Text 2.
अपत्य परिशंकिनी पूर्णे वर्ष शते श्राद्धि पुत्र प्ररुषुवे यमो प्रसूषु.
The virtuous lady Diti had been very apprehensive of trouble to the gods from the children in her womb, and her husband predicted the same. She brought forth twin sons after a full 100 years of pregnancy. So it's a very powerful person. Right? She could hold her children without delivering for 100 years because she felt bad. Anyway, it happened. Text 3.
उत्पाता बहवस्तत्र निपेतुर्जायमानयोः दिवि भुवि अन्तरिक्षे च लोकस्योरुभवावः.
On the birth of the two demons, there were many natural disturbances, all very fearful and wonderful in the heavenly planets, the earthly planets, and in between them. So a lot of disturbance, omens, bad things. Text 4.
सहाचला दिश सर्वा प्रजा ज्वलुः शोकाश्चासनया पेतुः केतवश्चार्तिहेतवः.
There were earthquakes along the mountains on the earth, and it appeared that there were fire everywhere. Many inauspicious planets like Saturn appeared, along with comets, meteors, and thunderbolts. Prabhupada gives in the purport, when natural disturbances occur on a planet, one should understand that a demon must have taken birth there. So, in the present age, the number of demonic people is increasing. Therefore, natural disturbances are also increasing, which is a fact. We see so many tsunamis and hurricanes, tornadoes. There's no doubt about this, as we can understand from the statements of the Bhagavatam. Text 5.
भववाहु सुदुःस्पर्शः उत्कारन् इरयन्मुहुः उन्मूलयान्नगपतिम् वात्यानिको रजोध्वजः.
There blew winds which were most uninviting to the touch, hissing again and again and uprooting gigantic trees. They had storms for their armies and clouds of dust for their ensigns. So in the Prabhupada says, it is to be understood that the demonic population is increasing, and so the natural disturbance is also taking place. So you can see so many hurricanes sometimes hit America. Text 6.
उदसत्तदित् अम्बोध घटया नष्टे भागणे यम्नि प्रविष्ट तमसा न स्म व्यादृश्यते प्रदम्
The luminaries in the heavens were screened by masses of clouds, in which lightning sometimes flashed as though laughing. Darkness reigned everywhere, and nothing could be seen. So it's really scary. Text 7.
शुक्रोश विमनावाधिर् उदुर्मि शुभितोदरः सोदपानास्य चुक्षुभुषुक्सपङ्कजः
The ocean with its high waves wailed aloud as if stricken with sorrow, and there was a commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers and lakes were also agitated, and lotuses withered. Text 8.
मुहुः परिधयो भुवान् सराह्यो शशिसूर्यः निर्घाता रथ निर्रादा विवरेभ्य प्रजनिरे
Misty halos appeared around the sun and the moon during solar and lunar eclipses again and again. Claps of thunder were heard even without clouds, and sounds like those of rattling chariots emerged from the mountain caves. Text 9.
अन्तर्ग्रामेषु मुखतो ममन्त्यो वह्निम् उल्बनम् गालोलुकतन्तकारः प्रणेदुरशिवं शिवः.
In the interior of the villages, she-jackals yell portentously, vomiting strong fire from their mouths, and jackals and owls also join them with their cries. Text 10.
संगीतवद्रोदनव पुन्नमय्या शिरोधराम् व्यमुञ्चन् विविधा वाचो ग्रामसिंहास्ततस्ततः.
Raising their necks, dogs cried here and there, now in the manner of singing and now of wailing. So a lot of troubling signs. Everywhere, the whole place, everyone is, something bad is going on and it's agitating everybody. Sometimes when the storm comes, the wind blows, dark clouds, you are feeling very uneasy. So animals, even natural elements are also agitated. This is when the two asuras are taking birth. Text 11.
But always sometimes we hear, at least in the previously people would say these things are some part, not all of these, but some of these are happening, then they say it's a bad omen.
Yeah.
But then people say it's superstition. So it doesn't seem like it's superstition, it's in the Bhagavad.
It's not superstition, it's a fact.
It's a fact. So if they will, so these things were.
People will talk because they don't understand that bad things are happening in the world, right? Only a few years ago, we had all this tsunami, that a lot of people in Japan. Is that not a bad thing? But why it happened? Because of their bad lifestyles, sinful lifestyle. So it invites all these things to happen. So at the same time, when there are bad things going on, demons also at the same time taking birth. Yeah. That's 11.
I remember in the village now, right? The dogs.
Yeah.
So sometimes they normally bark, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they look at the sky and start howling.
Howling. Yeah.
And my dad immediately used to stop them because that means there is something bad is happening, and you got to be careful. Immediately they move the cows and everything, they do that. So I used to remember because they can see also ghosts. So when the ghosts are coming, so they howl. I had seen it several times. Dogs.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah, dogs can feel. Cats also.
Cats also can see. Cats also sometimes immediately they become restless.
Yes, that's true.
American dogs never howl.
Because maybe they are not going out.
Maybe they live with the ghosts only.
No, they do. If the family member dies, they will howl. And all.
They do?
Yeah. Excellent
Also owls in the daytime when they start making that
sound.
they're also the bad omen.
खराश्च कर्कशेषतः पुरैर्घन्तो धरातलम् खार्काररवसामत्तः पर्यधावन्वरूथशः.
O Vidura, the asses ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hooves and wildly braying. Prabhupada says if asses do this, then it's a bad sign. Yeah. Text 12.
रुदन्तो रासभातृस्ता नीडात् उदपतन् खगः उशिरन्ये च पशवः शकृन्मूत्रम् अकुर्वत.
Frightened by the braying of the asses, birds flew shrieking from their nests, while cattle in the cowsheds, as well as in the woods, pass dung and urine. So you have seen that. Cows, when they get disturbed, they'll do that. Text 13.
गावो तृष्यन् असग्गोः तोयदापूय वर्षिणः विरुदन् देवलिङ्गानि द्रुमपेतुर्विनालिनम्.
Cows, terrified, yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained pus. The images of the gods in the temple shed tears, and trees fell down without a blast of wind. So very bad omen, especially when the cows are yielding blood in place of milk, and when pus is falling from the sky. Very bad. Text 14.
Gods means Devta.
No, there's deities. Text 14.
ग्रहान् पुण्यतमानन्ये भगन्नामश्चापि दीपितः चेरुर्वक्रगत्या युयुधुश्च परस्परम्.
Ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter and surpassed the auspicious ones such as Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus, as well as a number of lunar mansions. Taking seemingly retrograde courses, the planets came in conflict with one another. Particularly now, I think if you look in the sky, if there's no clouds, if you can see in Seattle, you can see the brightest star should be Jupiter now. If you look carefully, usually it should towards the dawn where the sun is rising around there, you can see Jupiter. But it should be moving to the opposite by next year. So Jupiter and all these are considered auspicious planets. Prabhupada writes in the purport, the entire universe is moving under the three modes of material nature. Those living entities who are in goodness are called the pious species, pious lands, pious trees, etc. It is similar with the planets also. Many planets are considered pious and others are considered impious. See, even planets are pious and impious. Just like even the planet, within the planet there's pious land and impious lands. Saturn and Mars are considered impious. When the pious planets shine very brightly, it is an auspicious sign. But when the inauspicious planets shine very brightly, this is not a very good sign. Text 15.
दृष्ट्वान्यांश महोत्पातान् तत्तत्त्वविदः प्रजाः ब्रह्मपुत्रान् ऋते भीता मेनिरे विश्वसम्प्लवम्.
Marking these and many other omens of evil times, everyone but the four sage, sons of Brahma, who were aware of the fall of Jai and Vijaya, and of their birth as Diti's sons, was seized with fear. They did not know the secrets of these portents and thought that the dissolution of the universe was at hand. So, with so many things happening all over the universe, up and down, every place has been shattered. Yeah, everyone is so frightened. It seems that because the four Kumaras knew what happened, so they like, okay, I didn't understand what's happening. But everyone else is like, oh my God, what is happening? Prabhupada writes in the purport, the laws of nature are so stringent that it is impossible for the living entity to surpass their enforcement. Devi Yesha Gunamaya. Mama Maya Durati. So you cannot overcome it. It's very strong. It is also explained that only those who are fully surrendered to Krishna and Krishna consciousness can be saved. Mamevi Prapadyante. Mayamitam Tarantite. So this is how it is. We cannot escape this fact. Unless we surrender to Krishna, we are not protected. We suffer. So in this next paragraph, Prabhupada writes, the most important social thing is, which is the Garbhadana process for begetting good children. That is to follow the Vedic rules and regulations. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna informed Krishna that if there is unwanted population, Varna, Shankara, the entire world will appear to be hell. People are very anxious for peace in the world, but there are so many unwanted children born without the benefit of the Garbhadana ceremony, just like the demons born from Diti. Okay. Basically, if you don't follow regulations in life, right, you cannot expect any peace. You can't say I pick and choose what I want to do. All the regulations must be followed to get a real peace. Otherwise, Prabhupada says we will have to undergo the stringent reactions of natural laws, which we see sometimes. So terrible, right? The effect of floodings. Just last year there was Sandy, or this year hit New York, New Jersey area. That's why where so many people. And last year before tsunami, yeah, forest fires, California, every year they get fire. Yeah. So which means people are not following properly, and so therefore reactions will be there. Just like in if you can see even in Seattle, the weather is not only changing, it's harsh. If it's very harsh, then you can understand people here are not so pious. Same in Texas. It's so hot in summertime. It's so burning hot. So people must be pious. But because there are devotees chanting everywhere, the relief is there every now and then. Otherwise, life is like that, difficult. Text 16.
Tavadidaityo sahasa Yajyamanatma paurusho Vibhate sma sharina Kayena dripati iva.
These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel-like frames which began to grow just like two great mountains. So these guys, as soon as they were born, they just developed big, powerful body, yeah? Physically. So generally that's how materialists are, right? They like to go to the gym and then pumping and all those things. Eat all the protein, soy protein, this protein, 6 packs, 8 packs, whatever, right? That's what the demonic persons are. And then if the body, if nobody says the body is good, they get angry or whatever. Right? You must always say, "Oh, you look good." Yeah, okay. That's text 17.
दिव्य स्पृशो हेम किरीट निरुद्ध काष्ठो स्फुरदङ्गदाभुजो गां पम्पयन्तो चरणे पदे पदे कट्या सुखाञ्चार्कम् अतीत्य दष्टतुः
Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the crests of their gold crowns. They blocked the view of all directions, and while walking, shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as if covering the sun with their waists, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. These guys are really huge, powerful demigods, actually. I mean, Asura demigods. Text 18.
So, one question. So, their bodies are not like us in the earthly planets, right? Because they are in the heavenly
Yeah.
planets.
Text
There is
18.
a what? There in the
Upper planets.
There upper planets.
Yeah, Kerala started from
Yeah. Okay. Text 18.
Small for them.
प्रजापतिर्नाम तयोरकार्षिद् यप्राक् स्वदेहा यमयोरजायत तं वै हिरण्यकशिपुं विदु प्रजा यं तं हिरण्याक्षम् असूत साग्रतः
Kasyapa Prajapati, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. The one who was born first he named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by Diti he named Hiranyakashipu. So there's two things in Vedic culture. One, if there's twins, there's one who's conceived first, and then one who is conceived second. But the one who's conceived second will take birth first. So the one who's conceived first, he'll move back, and then the second one will develop in front and come out first. So that's written in the Prabhupada, so if you want to. But that's how it is. So actually the older one comes out second. Yeah. So that's why Hiranyakashipu took birth second, but he's considered the elder boy. Text 19.
Tell this to mother.
Huh? We already told you. Text 19.
चक्रे हिरण्यकशिपुर् दोर्भ्यां ब्रह्म वरेण च वशिषपालं लोकां सत्रिन् अकुतो मृत्युरुद्धतः
The elder child, Hiranyakashipu, was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. So we will read about this in the 7th canto, how he achieved all these things. But yes, he did get a boon from Brahma so that he cannot be killed by anybody. He wanted to be immortal, but he cannot. In the Prabhupada writes, one may be very proud in the middle of the purport, first paragraph, of his material advancement in knowledge, but he cannot be immune to the four principles of material existence, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. It was the Lord's plan to teach people that even Hiranyakashipu, who was so powerful and strongly built, could not live more than his destined duration of life. Doesn't matter how strong, how. So just like we all take birth, we have to die, regardless of how strong, how powerful, how healthy, or how long we can live. We are all subjected to death. That we have to accept. The problem is we don't want to accept that. Just like Yudhishthira Maharaj said, right? Every day people are dying, but others are just walking past. Say, hey, okay. And they are not thinking it's going to happen to them. So that is something like, it is shown in the case of Hiranyakashipu fully, how he felt. He knew about death, but he wanted to somehow cheat it. He almost did it, but not quite. Text 20.
हिरण्याक्षोऽनुजस्तस्य प्रियप्रीतिकृद् अन्वहम् तदा पाणिर्दिवं यातो युजुत्सुर्मृगयन् रणम्.
His younger brother Hiranyaksha was always ready to satisfy his elder brother by his activities. Nice brothers. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulder and traveled all over the universe with a fighting spirit just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. Really demoniac. Just go bullies, big bullies. That's basically what it is. Bully. Going and causing problem wherever they like and they laugh about it. Text 21.
तं वीक्षय दुःशसा जवम् रणत्काञ्चन नूपुरम् वैजयन्त्या सृजा जुष्टम् हंसन्यस्तमहागदम्.
Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold tinkling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland, and he rested his huge mace on one of his shoulders. Text 22.
मनोवीर्यवरोत्सिक्तम् अश्रण्यम् अकुतो भयम् भीतानि लील्यरे देवा साक्षत्रस्ता इवायपयः.
His mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods, therefore, were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves even as snakes hide themselves for fear of Garuda. He was very powerful. Even the demigods were afraid of him. Prabhupada writes, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon that they would not be killed by any other living entity within this universe, were almost immortal, and thus they were completely fearless. When you know you're not going to die and you can bully people or kill, you go for it. That's exactly what these guys do. Yeah. So that's amazing how we sometimes they say if you give a nice flower to a monkey, what will the monkey do? Just make a mess of it. So this is exactly, they got the boon, they're going to make a mess of the universe. Next 23.
So what was the exact boon for Hiranyaksha?
Similar boon, not he asked for all that no one can defeat him and stuff like that. But not exactly like Hiranyakashipu. He didn't ask like this person cannot kill that. He didn't ask like that. Just that he can conquer any of the living entities. Yeah.
So, Prabhu, why did Hiranyakashipu do all that austerities to get boon from Brahma? What was it? Just to become immortal, or there was any other motivation?
The short answer is the short answer is being demonic and asuric. His conclusion was because people worship Vishnu is powerful. So if I get this boon, I will destroy all worship of Vishnu and he won't be powerful and I can kill him. I can kill him. So that's the short answer. He concluded that he can kill God. Asura's mentality. Text 23.
सवयतिरोहितां दृष्ट्वा
सवैतिरोहितां दृष्ट्वा
महसा स्वेन दैत्यराज
महसा स्वेन दैत्यराज
इन्द्रान् देवागणान् क्षीबान्
सेन्द्रां देवगणां शिवान्
अपश्यन् व्यनदद्भृशम्
अपश्यन् व्यनदद्भृशम्.
On not finding Indra and the other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power, the chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had all vanished before his might, roared loudly. Text 24.
ततो निवृत्तक्रीडिष्यन्
ततो निवृत्तक्रीडिष्यन्
गम्भीरं भीमनिश्वनं
गम्भीरं भीमनिश्वनं
विजगाहे महासत्त्वो
विजगाहे महासत्त्वो
वाधिमत्स इव द्विपः
वादिमत इव दिवः.
After returning from the heavenly kingdom, that means he went all the way up, the mighty demon who was like an elephant in wrath, for the sake of sport, dived into the deep ocean which was roaring terribly. So he went down to, looks like he went down to Garbhodaka ocean. Text 25.
तस्मिन् प्रविष्टे वरुणस्य सैनिका
तस्मिन् प्रविष्टे वर्णस्य सैनिकाः
यादो गणासन्नधिय ससाध्वशः
यादो गणासन्नदयः.
अहन्यमाना अपि तस्य वर्चसा
अन्यमानापि तस्य वचसा
प्रदर्शिता दुरतरं प्रदुद्रुः
On his on his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a blow. So it's like so chivalrous. I can scare these people. Text 26.
सवर्षपुगान् उदुधो महाबल
सवर्षपुरान् उदो महाबलः
चरन् महोर्मिन् श्वसने वृतान्मुः
चरन् महोर्मिन् ससने निशान्मुः.
मौर्याभिजग्ने गदया विभावरिम् आशे दिवांस्तात पुरीं प्रचेतसः
Moving about in the ocean for many, many years, the mighty Hiranyaksha smote the gigantic wind-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace and rich Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Now I am kind of this is Varuna's, it's not Garbhoda. No, cannot be the Garbhoda. I don't know. You know where Varuna's planet is? Actually, this name also is confusing because Vibhavari is actually place of moon planet actually. From the fifth canto, I know the place is called Nimlochani. Is the place of Varuna. So I'm not sure how this could be either a typo or editorial. I'm not sure. Maybe in Sanskrit, I don't know what it says. It says Vibhavari, right? So I do not know because Varuna's place is known as Nimlochani, so I'm not sure how this name is also related because Vibhavari is always associated with moon planet. See, Vibhavari, residence of moon god. And Varuna is there, Nimlochana, there, the western side. Yeah. I know, so I don't know whether it's editorial or what. Anyway, let's for now just accept what is there. Text 27.
तत्रोपलभ्य सुरलोकपालकम्
तत्रोपलभ्य सुरलोकपालकम्
यादो गणानां वृषभं प्रचेतसम्
यादो गणानां वृषभं प्रचेतसम्
स्मयन् प्रलब्धुं प्रणिपत्य नीचवत्
स्वयं प्रलब्धुं प्रणिपात्य नीचवत्
जगदामि देहि अधिराज संयुगम्
जगदामि देहि अधिराज संयुगम्.
Vibhavari is the home of Varuna, lord of the aquatic creatures and guardian of the lower regions of the universe. So it's in the lower regions, where the demons generally reside. There Hiranyaksha fell at Varuna's feet like a low-born man, and to make fun of him, he said with a smile, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." Sure. He knows no one can.
So sarcastic.
Yeah, very, very. Purposely. Text 28.
तं लोकपालो धिपतिर्भिषश्रिवा
लोकपालो
वीर्या प्रभो दुर्मद्भिरमाणिना विजित्य लोके खिल दैत्य दानवान् यद्राजसूयेन पुरा यजत् प्रभो
You are the guardian of an entire sphere and a ruler of wide fame, having crushed the might of arrogant and conceited warriors and having conquered all the Daityas and Danavas in the world. You once performed the Rajasuya sacrifice to the Lord. Text 29.
सैवम् उत्सिक्ता मदेन विद्विषा दृढं प्रलब्धो भगवान् अपाम्पतिः रोषं समुत्थं शमयन् स्वया धिया जयोचत् अङ्गोपशमं गता वयम्
Thus mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew no bounds, the worshipful Lord of the waters waxed angry. But by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger that had sprung up in him. And he replied, "O dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." The guy is so sarcastic, he's trying to instigate to fight. But Varuna is very intelligent, so he's like, "I'm all for these things." Text 30.
पश्यामि नान्यं पुरुषात् पुरातना यसंयुगे त्वां रणमार्गकोविदम् आराधयिष्यति असुरर्षभेहितम् मनस्विनोऽयं गृणते भवादृशः
You're so skilled in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in battle to you. Therefore, O chief of the Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention with praise. So, he is smart. Varuna is not a foolish person. He say, "Why don't you fight with Vishnu? He's the right one for you." So these guys, you can see materialistic people who have power, and so they always want to engage in something, right? Pick fights on people, and they think they can do everything, no problem. So now he's going to face Vishnu. Text 31.
गम्भीरमारा अभिपद्य विस्मयः शये शयशे विरशये स्वभिर्वृतः यस्त्वद्विधानाम् असतां प्रशान्तये रूपाणि धत्ते सदनुग्रहयेच्छया
Varuna continued, on reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once and will lie down on the field of battle, surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you and to show his grace to the virtues that he assumes his various incarnations like Varaha. So he's telling him, you will die in the hands of Vishnu. He's predicting, yeah? You'll die. So this is how Kshatriyas talk, you know. If you're wondering why, this is how they talk in chivalry, and they sarcastically talk down on each other's and so on.
He's already mentioning the Varaha incarnation to him.
Well, Prabhupada is
Prabhupada is
including
making-
that because it's obvious, it's Varaha.
Yeah, but I was wondering if it is in the Sanskrit or just Prabhupada is
It's not in the Sanskrit. But it's predicted. The demigods already probably know because Brahma already told them. So that the Lord will come to destroy them. So thus end the Bhakti and the purpose of the third canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entire victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. So he went up, then he went down to Varuna's. So even though in the plate it looks like Indra all in four corners, but actually they are on different levels. 18, chapter 18, the battle between Lord War and the demon Hiranyaksha. Now it's getting exciting. Everyone's ready to fight.
Maybe I missed it, but what is the exact planet they are actually born?
Who?
Hiranyakashipu.
They are on the, if you look up there, it's on the, no, it's Daitya's planets, and the Danava's planets are on the lower side. So,
Bhuvarloka? Or they
it
are
should be
Bhuvar-
there, just below Burloka, Bhu, there should be the planet. What is the planet after Bhu?
What is
Bhuvarloka. And then Swargaloka.
The choice,
No, you're too high, below.
After Bo. After
After
seven.
Bhu, above or below yourself?
Yeah.
After, what is after Bhu below?
ghostly spirits.
No. After below. Atala.
Why don't you go and look at that?
Bhuvasvara.
They're gonna,
Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala,
Yeah.
Mahatala,
Below
Satala,
Satala.
That is
That's
below.
below.
That below Bhur.
Below Bhu is Atala,
Oh,
Vitala.
Atala, Visala, Sutala, Prasatala.
I know, but it says, right, next to it.
Yeah, it says the Rasatala.
No, what does it say next to it? It says planets of Daityas, Danavas, and so on.
The abode of
It says, right? Number 413.
one is demons.
Yeah, so they are from that place. No?
There is Atala and Vitala.
Okay,
So there is Daitya and Rasa.
Rasatala.
That is Daitya.
okay,
Prabhu has
Rasatala.
opened Rasatala.
Right, Daityas are Rasatala.
Rasatala.
So
Rasatala.
there is one above Patala.
Yeah. And then there's Danavas also they have, which is Atala. Okay.
Atala.
No, Atala.
Abode of demons. Yeah, Atala.
So they're all abode of demons. Okay.
So Atala and Vitala.
Just listen. Don't try to say. Atala is where the Danavas are, and then Rasatala is where the Daityas are. Okay.
So below Atala.
What's it?
They are from different family, but they all asuras. Yeah. They are descendants of Maya Danava. So then Danavas. So, but they occupy the whole region from Atala to Patala. Okay. Not really Patala, Rasatala, up to there. They are lower planetary systems. Okay. Text 1.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
तदेवं अकर्ण्या जलेश भाषितम् महामनसा विगणन्य दुर्मदः हरेर्विदित्वा गतिमङ्गनारदा रसातलं निर्विशेषत्वरान्वितः
Maitreya continued, the proud and falsely glorious Daitya paid little heed to the words of Varuna. Oh dear Vidura, he learned from Narada the whereabouts of Supreme Personality of Godhead and hurriedly betook himself to the depths of the ocean. So they, like Prabhupada says, they don't even worry who the enemy is. They just want to go and destroy it. They don't even assess carefully, who's this supreme person. They cannot accept that there's someone supreme. So they just, as soon as he found out from Narada, he immediately went to fight.
So when did Narada
Narada is always traveling, and then he probably found out this guy is looking. So he came to help out with the pastime.
Speed up.
So once Hiranyaksha is out of the way, then Hiranyakashipu will go and do the austerity, right? Severe austerity. Yeah. Next 2. And Prahlad will be born because of that. Yeah. Next 2.
ददर्श तत्रा विजतं धराधरम् रुणीयमाना वणिमग्रदंश्रित्या मुष्णन्तमक्ष्णा स्वरुचोरुणाश्रिया जहास चाहो वनगोचरो मृगः
He saw there the all-powerful personality of Godhead in his boar incarnation, bearing the earth upward on the ends of his tusks, and robbing him of his splendor with his reddish eyes. The demon laughed, "Oh, an amphibious beast!" In the purport, Prabhupada says, in the Chaitanya Sampradaya, there is sometimes a demoniac misconception about the descent of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu's body is spiritual, but demoniac persons consider the body of the Supreme Personality to be material, just like ours. Avajananti Mahamudda. Persons who have no intelligence deride the transcendental form of the Lord as material. So this is how Hiranyaksha is seeing Varahadev. He's saying, oh, it's just another beast. He knows his Supreme Lord, but he's calling him a beast very arrogantly. Text 3.
महिं विमुञ्चनो रसो कशाम्बेष्वसृजयेम् अर्पिता न स्वस्ति यास्यसि अनया ममेक्षतः सुराधमासादितशूकराकृते
The demon addressed the Lord, "O best of the demigods." So he knows who is this person. Okay? "O best of the demigods, dressed in the form of a boar, just hear me. This earth is entrusted to us, the inhabitants of the lower regions, and you cannot take it from my presence and not be hurt by me." So he actually put the earth there. That's why he's saying you cannot touch this earth. Purport. It's a very nice purport. Sridhar Swami, commenting on this verse, states that although the demon wanted to deride the personality of Godhead in the form of a boar, actually he worshipped him in several words. For example, he addressed him as Vana Gocharaha, which means one who is a resident of the forest. But another meaning of Vana Gocharaha is one who lies on the water. So smart, huh? Sridhar Swami. Vishnu lies on the water, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be properly addressed in this way. The demon also addressed him as Mriga, indicating unintentionally that the Supreme Personality is sought after by great sages, saintly persons, and transcendentalists. So that is also a fact. He also addressed him as Agya. Sridhara Swami says that Gya means knowledge, and there is no knowledge which is unknown to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indirectly, therefore, the demon said that Vishnu knows everything. The demon addressed him as Suradama. Sura means the demigods, and Adama means Lord of all there is. He is Lord of all the demigods. Therefore, he is the best of all demigods of God. When the demon used the phrase, in my presence, the implied meaning was, in spite of my presence, you are completely able to take away the earth. Na swasti yashyasi. Unless you kindly take this earth from our custody, there can be no good fortune for us.
Like a prayer.
Amazing. Yeah, it has become like a prayer. Even though they are speaking in that words, Mother Saraswati goes into the mouth and changes it to prayers. So
Ramayana also it begins like that.
in the Ramayana also same.
First verse. Cursing, but that becomes a prayer.
Many places, even in the Krishna's pastime, also, the demons will say bad things, but actually it is good. Even in it's true. Text 4.
Om sapatne abhivaya kimbrito. Yomaya hanti asuran parokshaje. Tvam yogamaya balamalpa paurusham. Samsthapya mudha pramrije sruvichuchaha.
You rascal, you have been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. O fool, your power is only mystic, so today I shall enliven my kinsman by killing you. So proud, huh? He's so sure he can kill. Purport. The demon used the words abhavaya, which means for killing. Sridhar Swami comments that this killing means liberating, or in other words, killing the process of continued birth and death. It's amazing, huh? The way Sridhar Swami comments. The Lord kills the process of birth and death and keeps himself invisible. The activities of Lord's internal potency are inconceivable. But by a slight exhibition of this potency, the Lord, by His grace, can deliver one from nescience. Suchaha means miseries. The miseries of material existence can be extinguished by the Lord by His potential energy of internal Yogamaya. So you can see the demons are always planning how to kill the Lord, kill God. So you can see even nowadays, right? In the society, how they are passing laws to totally get rid of religion or God. Soon they will take up, in God we trust, then they'll change to in science we trust. Yeah. Huh? In dog. That is also some of them. Text 5.
Tvai samstite gadaya shirna shirshani. Asmad bhujachutaya ye chatubhyam. बलिं हरन्त्य ऋषयो ये च देवाः स्वयं सर्वेण भविष्यन्ति मूलाः
The demon continued, when you fall dead with your skull smashed by the mace hurled by my arms, the demigods and sages who offer you oblations and sacrifice in devotional service will also automatically cease to exist like trees without roots. So they really can't stand devotees also. So they can't stand devotees worshipping Lord, they can't stand them. That's it. You can see that when you go out on Harinam book distribution, you can see how much anger there is with some people. Right? In the Vedic scriptures, the neophyte devotees are advised to engage in 9 kinds of devotional service, such as to hear and chant the holy name of God, to remember Him always, to chant on beats, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, to worship the Lord in the form of His deity incarnation in the temples, and to engage in various activities of Krishna consciousness to increase the number of godly persons for perfect peace in the world. Demons do not like such activity. They are always envious of God and His devotees. Their propaganda not to worship in the temple or church but simply to make material advancement for satisfaction of the senses is always current. Alright, that's all they're doing. Now I was reading just this morning, there's a group of a new company they found. They want to push this virtual reality. They only could come up with the headgear, but they want to have motion also. So they're really pushing it. And then people are saying, put more money into it, put more investment. Already it's a virtual world we are living. So they want to go into another virtual life. And you'll see how people are going to go more and more crazy, become dead. They cannot see there's life. Actually, life is existing due to another life. The Supreme Life has given this life. They cannot see that. It's very difficult. They're so hard. The heart has been so hardened. Very hard for them to see this. And so that's why when we go out to preach and give books or Harinam, it's very difficult for them to even hear Krishna's name. They get angry. Only the pious feel happy when we do that, and then we can help them. So by doing that, we can purify our own hearts, and we can also give them some opportunity. We are actually giving them punya. Actually more than punya. We are trying to give them devotional abilities. For the demons and all, the whole existence is coming from nothing, right? Some chemical. So therefore they have no basis. Their whole life is fear. Unless and the only way they conclude is I have to enjoy what I have now, because tomorrow I will not be existing anymore. So that is it. Their basis of existence is only that. It's a very sad situation. Whereas for devotees, everything is dependent on the Lord. For us, is the root cause of everything, Sarva Karanam Karma, is Krishna. Everything is Krishna. So in the last line, Prabhupada writes, according to Sridhar Swami, this verse means that when the demon would be deprived of his mace by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not only the neophyte devotees, but also the ancient, sagacious devotees of the Lord would be very much satisfied. So it twisted what the demon said. Text 6.
Satudhyamano viduratatomare Damshagragam gam upalakya bhitam Todam rishan niragadam bhumadhyam ग्राहाहत सकरेणु यथेवः
Although the Lord was pained by the shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing that the earth on the ends of the tusks was frightened, he rose out of the water just as an elephant emerges with its female companion when assailed by an alligator. And the Prabhupada says, so the Lord actually wanted to protect the planet first. So that's why he got up without saying anything. The Mayavadi philosopher cannot understand that the Lord has feelings. Yeah, they don't know all this.
Every opportunity properly.
What happened?
Something happened. Which chapter? 17, right?
18.
18:6.
Okay. Yeah, they cannot understand because their whole concept is there's no form. So no form, no emotions, no nothing. So how can they accept the Lord has feelings? So they cannot understand that. So here we can see, the Lord is satisfied if someone offers him a nice praise. Similarly, if someone decries his existence or calls him by ill names, God is dissatisfied. So here we can see from the verse, the Lord was hurt also. He has feelings. He has feelings just like you and me. Yeah? Not that he gets totally disturbed, but he is like, oh my God, this guy's...
He's hurting himself.
Yeah, he's hurting himself. But the Lord has feelings anyway. Yeah? So it's amazing. God is dissatisfied. So Prabhupada is giving us an insight into how Krishna feels. That if you don't pray to him or if you don't glorify him, the Lord feels hurt. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is decried by the Mayavadi philosophers who are almost demons, okay? So Prabhupada is calling them demons also. So don't be so nice. They are demons. But if you preach to them, you understand these guys are demons. So either they listen to you or you just get out of the situation. Don't deal with it. They're rascals.
Madhvacharya calls them.
Mother just beat them up.
He beats them up left and right.
Yeah. And then later on, Prabhupada says about the Lord, he's never pleased with such atheistic descriptions. That means the Mayavadi is always describing as no body, no this. So that is an atheistic understanding. So these people are actually atheists, Mayavadis. They are atheists. The conclusion is that God is as sentient as we are, living being. He is satisfied by our prayers and dissatisfied by our harsh words against him. In order to give protection to his devotee, he is always ready to tolerate insulting words from the atheists. So he's facing Hiranyaksha because he wants to protect his devotees. Text 7.
Who wrote that poem? The absolute is sentient.
Yes,
Thou hast proved.
that was proven. Yes, that's right.
Actually, I heard this personally from a friend maybe about a decade ago. They say, if you talk about God having something, that means you're limiting him.
Is your
That means you're limiting him. Because if you say God has
form?
anything
Yeah.
that you say, whether he has feelings or this, means you're limiting him.
Yeah, that's the narrow
So
understanding.
that's why
By saying he has nothing means you are limiting. How you can have and not God?
Madhvacharya said the other way. He says, by you saying that, you are limiting him.
Limiting, yeah. That's
You're
what I'm saying.
depriving him.
Yeah.
I was just hearing. So, Madhvacharya's all the arguments given by Mayavadis, he puts the same thing back to them.
Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, right? You can have all the features, everything. God cannot have it. Is it? So why are you limiting him? He can have that and he cannot have that.
yeah.
His features are all transcendental, you rascal.
Also, when people hear that when God speak live, they got upset. Why he can't? He's supreme. He can do anything.
Yeah.
You can speak live. Why he cannot?
Why can't? Yeah.
But the
Rascals.
thing is that whatever he speaks is true.
It's true.
That's right.
One of the things in one of the lectures I heard is, it's about that when we say he has qualities, the point to understand he has unlimited number of
Qualities, and they all
That way
transcend.
he is unlimited.
Yes.
Not that he has no qualities.
Exactly. Unlimited. And also they are transcendental.
Yeah.
Purna, perfect. Their qualities.
Purnam, perfect.
This guy is all limiting.
Yeah.
He cannot have this, he cannot have that. Rascals.
I was hearing the reason why the Upanishads talks about Nirguna, Lord having not qualities. We all know that it's because it says material qualities. But
Yeah.
He said like it provides a fencing, so that when we hear that Lord has lotus-like eyes, people don't think, oh, it's like mine. It's better than mine.
Oh,
People should not think like that. That's why it provides the fencing, and then later his qualities are described.
so that we don't compare it in a
Yeah,
mundane way
because-
to
yes.
ourselves.
Like it's
It's
like
a
that's what
different-
the example it says.
Yeah, also Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also say when you see the Lord, when we describe as blue, it's not the blue that you think it's blue color like that. It's a transcendental color. That's what he says.
It's like
Something we have not experienced.
Yeah,
So you can say like that.
yeah, darkish,
when we
complex.
start comparing material qualities.
Yeah,
it's
like I said, with Srivatsa, everybody looks at your chest, you see you have white hair somewhere, and you think you're Srivatsa.
He's not there today.
Yeah.
The example I given is like, oh, Miss Universe, she's definitely beautiful than the buffalo.
Yeah,
It's like that.
yeah,
It's like-
yes. That's right. You cannot compare the beauty, actually. Actually, you don't understand what divine beauty is. if our forms, if like you said, the beauty in this material, or even in heaven, it's Gaura Rupam. When you compare with the Vaikuntha Vasis.
So it's like comparing the Miss Universe to buffalo.
Yeah. Okay.
शरन्तं सलिलात् अनुद्रुतो
शरन्तं सलिलात् अनुद्रुतो
हिरण्यकेशो दिरदन्दं यथा जसः
हिरण्यकेशो विरवदं यथा
करालदंष्ट्रो शनिनेश्वनो ब्रवे
करालदंष्ट्रो शनिनेश्वरो ब्रवे
गतह्रियां किं त्वसातां विगर्हितम्
The demon who had golden hair on his head and fearful tusks gave chase to the Lord while he was rising from the water, even as an alligator would chase an elephant. Roaring like thunder, he said, "Are you not ashamed of running away before a challenging adversary? There is nothing reproachable for shameless creatures." So he's deriding the Lord. Very too much. The purport Prabhupada counters this. He says, the Lord has nothing to fear from anyone. Yet he was merciful to his enemy by neglecting him. He could easily kill him, right? So that's the mercy. Although apparently he fled from the challenge, it was just to protect the earth from calamity that he tolerated Hiranyaksha's deriding words. So basically the Lord was turning away to put the planet safely. That was his main concern. Not to fight, because he can easily kill this guy. Takes aid.
So planet safely means back in the orbit.
Not yet. He puts him in the water first.
No.
Not yet.
सगामुदस्ता सलिलस्य गोचरे
सगामुदस्ता सलिलस्य गोचरे
विन्यस्तस्याम् अदधा स्वसत्त्वम्
विन्यस्य तस्याम् अददात् स्वसत्त्वम्
अभिष्टुतो विश्वसृजा पशूने
अभिष्टुतो विश्वसृजापशूने
अपूर्यमाणो विबुधे पश्यतो रे
अपूर्यमानो विबुधे पश्यतो रे
The Lord placed the earth within his sight on the surface of the water and transferred to her his own energy in the form of the ability to float on the water. While the enemy stood looking on, Brahma, the creator of the universe, extolled the Lord, and the other demigods rained flowers on him. So Brahma was praising the Lord, glorifying the Lord when he saw him. So in the Prabhupada says, those who are demons cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead floated the earth on water. But to devotees of the Lord, this is not a very wonderful act. Not only the earth, but many, many millions of planets are floating in the air. And this floating power is endowed upon them by the Lord. There is no other possible explanation. The materialists can explain what the planets are floating by the law of gravitation. But the law of gravitation works under the control or direction of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Yeah, they know something, they discover something. And then they think they know everything, right? But they only discover law of gravitation, maybe some other law.
So it's not like
It's always there.
it's their speculation. Right?
Yeah.
The whole thing, they don't know. They just go, maybe it's like that.
Yeah, it's based on some theory. And it's proven there is this thing that brings everything down. So it's gravity. So there's a law of gravitation. So that's all they can understand. But who is actually behind all these laws of this universe? It's the Supreme Lord himself. So they can explain to some extent, but they cannot explain fully. X9.
Remember, even in Krishna always saves his devotees first, even
Yeah.
the demons.
Right.
Remember one of the Krishna videos? Also, I think it's Kalia or something. He's trying to attack the boys. But Krishna first tries to take care of the boys which have already been poisoned by the water before he tries to.
Yeah.
I can't remember that one, but
Yeah.
something that you can see that he takes care of the. Probably you remember it better, but he takes care of his friends first before he
Chastises.
tries to attack the
Yeah.
devotees first.
Generally he does that. Except sometimes when the boys run too fast into the mouth of Agasura, then he couldn't do anything. He went with them. But yeah, he
during
always
the fire.
the fire
Demon
also.
attacks also, first he protects them.
No, he put
Yeah.
them to sleep.
Yeah, he asked them to lie down and sleep.
Then they didn't know what happened there. Yeah, he always does that. You're right. He protects his devotees first. So same here also. No difference in the behavior. X9.
Paranushaktam tapaniyopakalpam
Paranushaktam tapaniyopakalpam
Mahagadam kanchana chitradamsham
Mahagadam kanchana chitradamsham
Marmanyabhiksham pratudantam duruktai
Paramayaviksham pratudhantam duruktai
Prachandamanyo prahasam satam bhavashe
Prachandamanyo prahasam sambhavashe.
The demon who had a wealth of ornaments, bangles, and beautiful golden armor on his body chased the Lord from behind with a great mace. The Lord tolerated his piercing ill words, but in order to reply to him, he expressed his terrible anger. The Lord could have chastised the demon immediately while the demon was deriding the Lord with ill words, but the Lord tolerated him to please the demigods and to show that they should not be afraid of demons while discharging their duties. So when we do our duties, we shouldn't worry about external things. Our duties must be performed and should do it without being afraid of the asuras. So here you see how he is ornamented. He's got so many earrings and bangles, golden armor. They like to show off. You can see, right? When you go to the city and all, they all show up in their cars, shiny, chrome plated, like that. Have big houses. Prabhupada says they think that a large amount of gold, physical strength, popularity can save them from the wrath of the Supreme Personality of God or death itself. They think it's okay. I'll be alive. I can buy myself to live longer. Right? I'm a CEO earning 200 million, then I should have life as long as I can spend the money, right? It doesn't work like that. You cannot. You can die tomorrow with a terrible disease like that. What is your money? Useless. Text 10.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
सत्यं वयं भो वनगोचरामृगा
सत्यं वयं वो वनगोचरामृगा
युष्मद्विधान् मृगये ग्रामसिंहा
युष्मद्विधामृगये नामसिंहा
न मृत्युपाशय प्रतिमुक्तस्य वीरा
मृत्युपाशये प्रतिमुक्तस्य वीरा
विकथनं तव गृह्णन्त्यभद्रा
विकर्तनं तव गृह्णन्त्यभद्रा.
Personality of Godhead said, "Indeed, we are creatures of the jungle, and we are searching after hunting dogs like you." One who is freed from the entanglement of death has no fear from the loose talk in which you are indulging, for you are bound up by the laws of death. Basically, every living entity is under the laws of birth and death. We cannot run away from that. But particularly the demons, they think they can escape this thing. They think I can escape. Somehow or other I'll escape. Right? Tomorrow I'll find some way and I'll escape. I'll live forever. Which is exactly what we saw in Hiranyakashipu, right? Later on you'll see he wants to live forever. He knows he has to die, but he refused to die. That's the arrogance of the living entity. Yeah? No matter how you defy the laws in the material world, you still die. And they go for surgery, they put their face flatter, smoother, and then come out like horrible, and then they still they think they can live long. Yeah.
Even when Hiranyaksha dies, he actually speaks the philosophy that everybody has to die one day,
Yeah.
and all so on and so forth. But still, when it comes to him, he doesn't want to die.
Yeah, Hiranyakashipu.
Yeah.
After his brother dies, he will talk big philosophy.
His mother,
Yeah. Text 11.
एता वयं न्यासहरारशोकशाम् गता ह्रियो हृदया द्रावितास्ते तिष्ठामहेथापि कथञ्चिदाजौ स्थेयं त्वयामो परिणोत्पाद्य वैर्यम्
Certainly we have stolen the charge of the inhabitants of Rasatala and have lost all shame. Although bitten by a powerful mace, I shall stay here in the water for some time, because having created enmity with a powerful enemy, I now have no place to go. He's saying, I will fight you. And I have taken the planet Earth. Text 12.
सम्पर्द्रथानां किल योऽथ पातिपो घटस्वनो स्वतय आश्व अनूहः संस्थाप्य चास्मन् प्रमजाशु स्वकानम् यस्वां प्रतिज्ञां नातपि प्रत्यसभ्यः
You are supposed to be the commander of many foot soldiers, and now you may take prompt steps to overthrow us. Give up all your foolish talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud, yet he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised word. He's telling, go for it, man.
Take shot.
Yeah, go for it, dude. That's
So
13.
in the
Yeah.
previous verse, the Lord is saying, we have stolen the charge of the inhabitants of Rasatam
Yes.
and have lost all shame. So
Yes.
he's just being very
Sarcastic.
sarcastic
Yeah.
that we have
Yeah,
lost
I'm
shame.
so
He's
low
giving
class.
Yeah,
I'm so low
stolen.
class. I came here, I stole this from you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's giving a fitting reply.
Yeah. He's been very sarcastic. Okay.
Maitreya Uvacha
मैत्रेयवाच
Shodhikshipto Bhagavata
शोधिक्षिप्तो भगवता
Pralabdhascha Rushabhrisham
प्रलब्धस्य वृषाभूषम्
Ajaharolbanam Krodham
आगजारोपणम् क्रोधम्
Kridyamano Hiraddiva
क्रियमाणो विरक्तिव
Sri Maitreya said, the demon, being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead, became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. So he became very angry. He started shivering like that. What is the point, right? He gets so angry. So Prabhupada says like that. He says, what big deal? He gets angry. He'll still be killed, Text 14.
Srijinnam Shila Swastam Manyu Prachalitendriyaha
मन्युप्रचलितेन्द्रियः
Asadhyatara Sadaityo
आसाद्यतरसादैत्यो
Gadayanyahanadharim
हृदयान्यहनद्धरिम्
Hissing indignantly, all his senses shaken by wrath, the demon quickly sprang upon the Lord and dealt him a blow with his powerful mace. So he got so angry, he quickly jumped and hit the Lord with the mace. Text 15.
Bhagavan Sugadavegam
भगवान् सुगदावेगम्
Vrishmitam Ripunar Morasi
विशिष्टम् नृपुनोरसि
Avanchayatirashino
प्रपञ्चयतिरक्षिणो
Yogarudha Ivantakam
योगारुदानिवान्तकम्
The Lord, however, by moving slightly aside, dodged the violent mace blow aimed at his breast by the enemy, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death. So basically, when you do yoga, it means you are going to get out of this material body. Yeah? And that's the goal of yoga. And so, in the same way, he's compared, just like the Lord dodged the thing, is like the yogi also is dodging, escaping death. The Lord also like that. So, it's just a comparison. So, when you are Krishna conscious, you don't have to do any of these things. Automatically, that will become your step. Like in Dhruva Maharaj, he just put his feet over the head of death and went back to Godhead. Text 16.
Punargadam Swa Adaya
पुनरदास्वादाय
Ramayantam Abhikshnashaha
रामयन्तम् वीक्षणशः
Abhyadhavadhari Krudaha
अभ्यधावाधरि कुरुतः
Sambrahadashtadachadam
सम्भ्रम्भादष्टदक्षरम्
Personality of Godhead now exhibited his anger and rushed to meet the demon, who bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about. So as the Lord ran towards him, he like that. That's what it seems like, repeatedly brandishing. He's like, oh, he's charging at me. Text 17.
Tatascha Gadayaratim
ततश्चदारामि
Dakshinashyam Bhruvi Prabhu
दक्षिणाश्याम् ब्रुवि प्रभुः
Ajagne Satuntam Saumya
आजाग्ने सततां सौम्य
Gadaya Kovidohana
गदया कुरुविद्रोहः
Then, with his mace, the Lord struck the enemy on the right of his brow. But since the demon was expert in fighting, O gentle Vidura, he protected himself by a maneuver of his own mace. So he protected himself. He must be expert, otherwise he cannot fight. Text 18.
एवं गदाभ्यां गुर्वीभ्याम्
एवं गदाभ्यां गुर्वीभ्यां
हर्यक्षोर्हरिरेव च
हर्यक्षो हरिरेव च
जिगीषया सुसंरब्धा
जिगीषया संलब्धा
अन्योन्यम् अभिजग्नतुः
अन्योन्यम् अभिजग्नतौ.
In this way, the demon Haryaksha, which is another name for Hiranyaksha, and the Lord, the personality of Godhead, struck each other with their huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. Text 19.
तयोस्मितस्तो गदा गदाहताङ्गयो
तयोस्तुतोऽस्ति भवदाहताङ्गयो
शताश्रवग्रहणाविवृद्धमन्यो
शताश्रवाणाविरुद्धमन्यो
विचित्रमार्गां शरतो जिगश्चया
विचित्रमार्गां शरतो जिगीषया
व्यभातिलायम् इव शुष्मिनोर्मृदः
There was keen rivalry between the two combatants. Both had sustained injuries on their bodies from the blows of each other's pointed maces, and each grew more and more enraged at the smell of blood on his person. In their eagerness to win, they performed maneuvers of various kinds, and their contest looked like an encounter between two forceful bulls for the sake of a cow. Text 20.
दैत्यस्य यज्ञावयवस्य माया
दैत्यस्य यज्ञावयवस्य माया
गृहीता वराहा तनोर्महात्मनः
गृहीतावरातनोर्महात्मनः
कौरव्यमह्यां द्विषतोर्विमर्दनम्
कौरव्यमह्यां द्विषतोर्विमर्दनम्
दिदृक्षुरागादृशिभिर्ग्रथस्वरा
दिदृक्षुरागादृशिभिर्ग्रथस्वरा.
A descendant of Kuru, Brahma, the most independent demigod of the universe, accompanied by his followers, came to see the terrible fight for the sake of the world between the demon and the personality of Godhead, who appeared in the form of a boar. So people from every planet came to see this fight. From the upper planet, they all came down to see how this is going to go. And they are worried also, will the Lord win? Will he lose? So here, Brahma is described as Swarat, and we know from the very first verse in Bhagavatam, Swarat is only for Supreme Lord. But there's a reason why he is described Swarat. Prabhupada says Brahma is described in this verse as Swarat. Actually, this is the second paragraph. Actually, full independence is exclusive to the Lord himself. But as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, every living entity has a minute quantity of independence. It's a restricted independence, we can say. Each and every one of the living entities within this universe has this minute independence, but Brahma, being the chief of all living entities, has a greater potential of independence than any other. He is the representative of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and has been assigned to preside over universal affairs. Therefore, he could do a little bit more than us. Okay? All other demigods work for him. Therefore, he is described here as Swarat in that sense. Okay? He is always accompanied by great sages and transcendentalists, all of whom came to see the bullfight between the demon and the Lord. Big fight. Yeah.
The question is sort of similar to what we discussed before. Here also, Lord's, in the previous verse, Lord is described with even from the Lord's body there was blood.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it should be understood in the same way that it's for the sake of the pastime.
Yeah. He's showing blood coming out all our pastimes. Yeah. It's a Leela. It's not that the Lord actually will bleed or whatever.
Like Bhishma.
Just like what? When Bhishma threw arrows at Krishna, he also had blood. Yeah. Yeah, but actually he was feeling flowers thrown by a lover. That's all.
Look, this is just my thinking, but I was thinking that because Lord's is a master, Maya Dakshina Prakriti, everything is. So if he wants, for the sake of the past, he can maybe temporarily even accept a material
No,
form if he wants to, or just for the pastime.
no,
It's not.
It's not
No.
necessary.
no,
Never.
never.
It's
It's
the
always eternally
So
transcendent.
this is so basically the form is spiritual. But
Always.
it's just showing.
Yes,
that.
yes. Lord never is material.
But where is there any Shastra says material?
No, I'm just.
No, he's asking a question.
Yeah, I'm just asking a question.
No, never. You shouldn't even dream about it.
Yeah.
except that Virat Purusha.
But the Virat Purusha is it's not
It's not directly the
not
Lord.
directly the Lord. Yeah, it's just a elemental universal representation. That's a Virat Guru. Yeah, it's a gross aspect of his. It's a
And
what
The
is that?
imaginary
It's
purpose.
a no, it's a gross form of him, but it's a Virat Rupa. All the elements are surcharged by him at the
To
dawn
form
of
that
creation. So that is his form at that time. So that's the only time it is transcendental, but it's not him. That's how it's described. Yeah. But here he is 100% pure,
Yeah.
transcendent. So whatever you see, blood, sweat, everything is perfect. It's all transcendental.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Let's go. Thanks. I think we'll stop here.
And
We'll
so
stop.
when Bhishma delivers some arrows and hits Krishna, Krishna is taking pleasure.
Yes.
Is this fight also the same pleasure? It's a different level, right? Not
It's
the same.
different. It's different. That's a favorable.
But in that case,
From the Vaikuntha perspective, it is also kind of a chivalry.
From the Vaikuntha, but he's not thinking like that. He's, remember, he says you are in anger, you will do this. So that is not favorable.
Probably in that case also, Bhishma and Arjuna, I think, when Krishna also tried to save devotee Arjuna, he lifted those things to
Yeah.
save the, and
That's
even
true.
the fight was bit
Yes,
mattered.
that's right. All right, so Srila Prabhupada ki
So tomorrow are we having a class?